Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's J Dean, Dean of Music, and today I'm here to talk about the classic underground gem. And that album is The Minstrel Show by Lil Brother. Let's talk about it.
Feeling godly when I walk through the building. I got it all from the confidence escaping my feeling. It's time to ball.
Yeah, The Minstrel Show is a classic by far. This is one of the greatest rap albums of all time. It isn't any gimmicks on this album. It's just dope beats and dope rhymes. And today I'm gonna go through every song and tell you why this album, to me, I give it like a 9.5 out of 10, maybe a 10 out of 10. It's one of those albums where it doesn't have any skips on it whatsoever. I even listen to the skits when I play it straight through, and this is an album you could play straight through. It was released September 13th, 2005, and it only spawned two singles, but it was an underground album. It wasn't a mainstream album, because I really didn't know about this album until I was like maybe a teenager into my 20s, because I didn't really know about the group Little Brother either. But the first time I heard Little Brother was on Saints Row, and that song was called Shake It. But at the time of playing that game, I didn't know that group was called Little Brother. But when I got older and replayed the game, I was like, oh, this is Little Brother. But I always knew who Ninth Wonder was, because Ninth Wonder worked outside of Little Brother. So I always knew who Ninth Wonder was, but I didn't know Ninth Wonder was a part of a group called Lil Brother until I got into like my 20s. But this album came out when I was 8 years old when this album came out, and I did not hear of this album until probably 5 or 6 years ago. But man, I am really glad that I sat down and listened to this amazing body of work. Now this album got, well, not this version I got. This version of the album I got is a repressing from last year, and it's 2 extra songs on here. But the original album got 17 songs on there, and there's no skips. So let's go through the album, right? This album is mainly produced by Ninth Wonder, and none of this is gonna sound biased, but Ninth Wonder is personally one of my favorite producers of all time, rap producers of all time. I put him in my top 5 because I love the way Ninth chops beats. And even though Ninth Wonder chops beats, but he chop, like, okay, let's say this, right? The specialty in Ninth Wonder beats isn't the drums, or him having crazy drums, or him having a crazy bass line. It's Ninth Wonder's chops. That's what make Ninth Wonder a great producer. It's his chops, not necessarily his drums, because I know a lot of people give him flack for using like the same drum sounds or like the same drum patterns on a lot of his beats, but his specialty in beats is the chop. It's not really the drums. But with that being said, the first song, I ain't really get into it. The background for y'all that don't know, The Minstrel Show. The Minstrel Show was actually a real thing. And this was in the early 19th century or the 19th century. This is actually a real thing. This is where white people would throw a show, but performers would have makeup on and perform blackface. You don't know what blackface is? That's when white people put black makeup on their face and like extra red or pink lipstick on their lips as it's seen on the back of the cover. I don't know if you can see it, but that's the blackface. Y'all remember what Drake did in that one ad where he did the blackface? That's what it is. A white person putting on black makeup to appear as a black person. And it was a lot of the Minstrel Show was centered around comedy and music. But the thing about the comedy came from stereotypes of black people. So they would have black faces and they would act like they were us, but it would be extra stereotypes of us at that time, and that was comedy to a lot of white people at that time. And a lot of music was them making fun of our music that we listened to, and that was the Minstrel Show. It was heavily surrounded by racism and stereotypes of black people. So there you go, as a background as to why this album is called The Minstrel Show. Now this album right here is a concept album far as theme. Not far as like deep message or story wise, but it's a theme to this album. And the album starts off in the morning and then it ends off at night. Even in the credits, like the inner sleeves of this album, it gives you what's those things that you get at shows? A program. It gives you a program of times and when the actual songs was performed in the actual minstrel show. I could tell that they really sat down and created this whole sound that they put together. It's actually beautiful how the album flows and certain transitions that go perfectly into the next song, and how they even the Joe Scudder skit before Slow It Down, he kind of foreshadows his verse of him getting ready to perform Loving It. It makes you feel like you're actually watching a show, like a live show. Even the crowd chants and all of the stuff that's in the background. But I'll get into it. But first song on here is Welcome to the Minstrel Show, which is, when you go to a live show or a live performance, it's always an entrance song or a person that's hosting the show. Award shows, they'll come out and talk, and it's this whole big spectacle at the beginning. And that's the first song on this album, produced by Ninth Wonder. And you would think it's just the intro, it's nothing going on too crazy, but the beat is fire. And they use the same beat on the intro that they use on the outro to open and close the show. They use the same exact beat. That song, there's no rapping on. It's just Welcome You to the Minstrel Show. It's getting you hyped for the song. And then you got Beautiful Morning, because this album starts off in the morning. So they give you the song Beautiful Morning. That's produced by Ninth Wonder. Once again, like Phonte said, dope beats, dope rhymes. And that's going to be the main summary of this entire album. This is a pure rap album. This isn't like they were trying to get mainstream hits or trying for radio hits. This is a pure rap album, which I really appreciate. Like I just said, is dope beats, dope rhymes. And I would actually say it's amazing beats, amazing rhymes. Phonte, Big Pooh, they went crazy on this song too. And this song actually, which Ninth did a lot on this album. Ninth is a sample heavy producer. So some of these samples on here are crazy, and I don't know how Atlantic got to clear all of these samples, but this song right here samples the Stylistics. You don't know what the Stylistics is, man? Get your uncultured swine ass on Spotify and listen to some old school music. But this song right here is fire, and this song transitions perfectly into the next song. And I don't know if he planned to do this while he was writing, if Phonte planned to do this while he was writing Beautiful Morning, but at the end of Beautiful Morning, he spits his first verse of the Becoming. It says like, nah, let me get that over. And then it goes into the next song, and then he starts rapping that verse on the Becoming, right? And I think I don't know if Big Pooh had a solo song on this album, but it's just Phonte on this song. Big Pooh isn't on this song, it's just Phonte on this song. And this is a Chaka Khan sample. Crazy, right? Once again, produced by Ninth Wonder. Another fire beat. And then you got Becoming, then you got Not Enough, produced by Ninth Wonder again. Sample is Teddy Pendergrass. They was digging in them soul samples. Well, Ninth was digging in them soul samples for this album. And this song on here got Big Pooh, Phonte, and I think it's another person on the song, if I'm not mistaken. But Not Enough is one of my favorite choruses on the record. I mean, on the album, right? Because this whole song is about like them having dope beats, dope rhymes with more than y'all want. I feel like Phonte was saying that a lot on this album, right? About him, like them feeling like they wasn't appreciated in the culture, and he didn't like the state of rap that was going on at the time. And Phonte says that a lot on this album right here. But Not Enough, another fire record. And then you got like the skit parody, which I feel like really flows perfectly into the minstrel show theme of it being a stereotypical black person show, right? Oh, and also they do UBN, which is also a parody of UPN. If you're old enough, you remember the UPN was a channel, and you could just look up and research how they treated black people in the black shows at UPN. Just look that up, and they got UBN. So they did a flip on that. But then this cheating record to me, I feel like it's deeper than it actually just being a funny R&B parody. because the whole minstrel show was white people in blackface dancing and singing like they were us, but it was all stereotypical. And this song Cheating is a stereotypical R&B song. So I don't know if I'm digging too deep into that one. Y'all can let me know if it's not that deep, but it might be that deep. They might have wrote this song and wanted it to be an R&B parody song and wanted it to be a stereotypical song. And this song is by Percy Miracles and Mr. Diggs. Phonte and Big Pooh are not on this record. Ninth Wonder didn't produce this record. This record is produced by Piano Reeves. And it says that samples Get Low by Lil Jon and the East Side Boys. I don't know if that's true or not. But that's what it says. And it even has it says Mr. Diggs. He's a parody of Mr. Biggs, even when he used to do that little note. La, 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 la. If you don't know who Mr. Biggs is, man, get your uncultured swine ass on Spotify and look up the Isley Brothers. But on to the next record, which is Hiding Place, which is I would say this is my third favorite beat on the album. Once again, produced by Ninth Wonder, and this is a Bobby Womack sample. Once again, you don't know who Bobby Womack is, get your uncultured swine ass on Spotify and do some research. Across 110th Street, look up Bobby Womack, nigga. But Hiding Place, to me, they was rapping on this song, and this beat, where you gonna hide? Fire, man. Shout out to Ninth Wonder chops is I don't even really want to know or talk about that, but it's a person on here that comes in on the second verse, and his verse is insane. He says, "Don't compare me to jokes. I'll strangle the air in your throat." like you jumped in midair and choked from the. I don't know it exactly verbatim, but that I don't know who he isn't credited on Spotify. But on this album, it says his name is Elzhi. He went crazy on this record. Normally, Phonte has the better verses, but he went crazy on this record. But Hiding Place, where you gonna hide? Fire. That sample is crazy. Ninth Wonder, he did his thing with the chops. And we are 6 songs in, no skips whatsoever. And Hiding Place perfectly transitioned to Slow It Down, which you wouldn't really think transitions in that style of production and then them bringing in to Slow It Down. But this is how they make you really feel like you're in a show, because then now it goes backstage and Joe Scudder is on a skit, and you can hear the muffle sound, or you know how you in the room secluded but it's music being played outside of the door. You know how that sounds. That's the sound that was in the background of Joe Scudder talking to this woman, and he's preparing for his verse because he's going to have to perform soon because his verse on Loving It. So he's going to have to perform soon. He's nervous. If you never performed before in front of people, nerves it's all a thing. She's telling him to calm down, and she calms him down in a way that she knows how to calm down, and then it perfectly transitions into Slow It Down. And I don't have to look up what sample this is, because this song samples David Ruffin, Slow Dance. That's probably upside down, but the sample is on this album right here. Now, I just wanted to, this is a shameful flex. I just wanted to flex to show y'all that I have this album, right? Because it's not an easy album to find, but it samples David Ruffin, Slow Dance. If you never heard Gentleman Ruffin, please listen to that album. That album is amazing. But anyway, Ninth Wonder, once again, on the production, he chops the hell out of Slow Dance. If you never heard the song, listen to the song first and then listen to this song. He chops the hell. I don't know how Ninth sample chops is up there. They're crazy. Jay Dilla sample chops were Jay Dilla was chopping stuff not even on the computer, and he was getting stuff from 2-3 minutes later in the song and blending it all together. Rest in peace to Jay Dilla, man. Amazing production that Jay Dilla did. But Slow It Down, once again, Phonte, Big Pooh, and I don't think it's another verse on here. Darren, I think he just talks on Slow It Down though. I don't know. But next song, Say It Again, another fire record again. Ninth Wonder once again production, and this song was sampled from the song that was by the Five Special. Now I ain't gonna lie, I'm an uncultured swine. I don't know who the Five Special is. Get at me for that. But Ninth Wonder once again, Big Pooh, Phonte, and dope rhymes, dope beats. What more do y'all want? Fifth in Fashion. Now this is a skit. And this sounds like a commercial that you would see on UPN. So I like that they did that. This sounds like a commercial on UPN where it advertises a black store with all these designer things that black people like to go to at the time. And they're naming all the designer things, and it's a little like catchy jingle that's on Fifth in Fashion. It's just a nice interlude. Now, there's no like real deep transition that goes into the next song, but this next song is the star of the motherfucking show. This song right here, my nigga. First of all, let's just start with the sample. One Night After by the Stylistics. Produced by Ninth Wonder. Big Pooh is on the second verse. Phonte is on the first verse. Joe Scudder is on the third verse. Phonte's opened the song saying, we got Joe Scudder performing in blackface tonight, which it brings back the theme of the minstrel show, right? But this beat right here, Loving It, produced by Ninth Wonder. You probably heard Lil Wayne freestyle to this. This is a hot take, and this is my stance on this song. This Loving It beat is one of the greatest rap beats I've ever heard in my life. If I had to do a list of probably top 50, top 20 of my favorite beats, this is going on the list. Ninth, I would give you a round of applause if I didn't have to hold this mic. This beat is amazing. I watched the video on how this beat was made and how he did the chops and how he blends. I don't know how Ninth blended that section of the bridge and the chorus into the verse, but it's so seamless. Even though I produce, right? I make beats, so I know how sampling is only difficult when you first learn how to sample, but sampling is not easy. Let me just get that out the way. Sampling is not easy because a lot of these records were made in the 60s and 70s. They weren't following metronomes. They were in the studio or in the booth performing live and recording it. So it was human feel. So a lot of these samples from these time periods that they're sampling from are not in time. Some of them are snappy. They're on time, but it's not easy to get a part of a song and then have it 5-10 seconds later and have it transition into that part and keep it in a constant loop, even though it's a little slight gap in between the pre-chorus into the chorus on the verses. It's a slight little gap, but the drums mask that. That's the only imperfection in this beat. But other than that, Loving It is one of the greatest beats I've ever heard. This is one of those beats where I cannot, for everything I love, I cannot play this song one time. I can't do it. It comes on, my face starts scrunching because I'm like, I don't know how he even chopped this. Like, this is crazy. And then before it even gets to Phonte verse, I run it back because the drums drop in before the verse, and Phonte is just talking before his verse comes on. Now after I just glazed this beat, I love this beat. This is one of the greatest rap beats of all time. It's a great freestyle beat if you rap. But I think the beat is amazing too, right? But Phonte's verse is gas. Like, oh my God, when Tay pull his verses out, promoters pull their purchase out, that money for a purchase out, the charge card that they swipe for the purse amount, because this is different, not personnel. Big Pooh be the first to, he skated on this. And I think even though Phonte was rapping at an excellent level on this album, the production from Ninth Wonder is so amazing that I don't know if it outshines Fonte's rapping. Big Pooh is nice too, but he ain't as nice as Fonte. But Fonte's rapping on this album is magnificent. But Fonte's verse on Loving It is, man, come on, man. That's a 10 out of 10 verse. The way he did a different pocket than he normally did on this album just for that song is fire. And they didn't do a lot on the chorus or try, because the chorus has so many vocals on it that you can't do too much with the chorus, because the sample with all the vocals will overpower your vocals, and it'd just sound like noise. So they just got the girl, can't stop, won't stop, yes I love it, can't stop, won't stop, and then Tay do his little ad libs to it. But that's a 10 out of 10 song, 15 out of 10 beat. That beat is amazing. Salute the Ninth Wonder for making that amazing beat. I would love to be a fly on the wall to see everybody's reaction first hearing that beat. Beat is amazing. And then Loving It transitions into the Diary of the Mad Black Daddy skit, which I don't know if they took a little shot at Tyler Perry. That's hey. But it's the kid, now they take you out from the show, right? Now it's the kid watching the show on television, and he's singing can't stop, won't stop, yes I love it. And then the dad comes in yelling, saying, you watching the minstrel show making black folks look bad, like you need to, you said can't, he said you love bringing these F's home and all, just being a dad that had a lot of shit, trauma and shit. And that's why it goes into the next song where it's Just For You, because at the end, because the phone is ringing, and then the dad tells the kid to pick up the phone, and then the kid picks up the phone and then say it's for you, and then it goes perfectly into the next song, which is All For You, produced by Ninth Wonder. And this sample is by Michael Franks. That might be Uncultured Swine, I don't know who that is. But this song is all about Phonte speaking to his father. This is all for you. So not only are they giving little social commentary on like the black culture, but they're also getting introspective with personal things. And that's why I love this album, because it's a roller coaster, which I think all albums should be. They should be roller coasters. They shouldn't be you go all the way up at the beginning of the album, then it just goes all the way down. The sequencing on this album is amazing. There isn't too many skits. They're perfectly placed, and everything just flows together so perfect, and it really feels like you're watching a show, and it's beautiful. Now let's go into the first rap song that's on the album that's not produced by Ninth Wonder, and that's the next song, Watch Me, which is produced by Crisis. And at the time, they was calling themselves the Justice League, not the Justice League that were producing beats for Rick Ross, but they were calling themselves the Justice League. And this samples Michael Jackson. I don't know how they got a Michael Jackson sample cleared, but this samples Michael Jackson. And once again, Big Pooh, Phonte is on there, and then you got scratches by DJ Jazzy Jeff. DJ Jazzy Jeff is on this album. This is another fire song, but it goes into the next song, Sincerely Yours, because Watch Me has a skit at the end where two dudes are meeting at the end of the minstrel show, and they have like a funny little conversation about Pooh being the weakest out of the three. And then it perfectly goes into, because the dude is like, I'm sorry I missed your bar mitzvah, and it goes into Sincerely Yours. And then this is my second favorite beat on the album. So my top three beats on this album are Loving It, Sincerely Yours, and Hiding Place. My top three beats on the album. Comment if you disagree with me. But also, oh no, I didn't know that. Wow, I didn't know that Phonte isn't on this record. I thought Phonte was on this record. Wikipedia is saying that Phonte isn't on this record. But Sincerely Yours, whatever goes around comes around. Ninth chopped the hell out of this sample. And that song is sampled by Jerry Butler, What Goes Around. Another 10 out of 10 record. And then you got Still Lives Through, which this says this samples A Tribe Called Quest. I didn't know that. Knife was pulling samples out of everywhere, which this record is also fire. And Phonte and Big Pooh is on this record again. And then you got the closing song, which is just a repeat of the first song, but they add different lyrics to it at the end. That song, of course, the beat is produced by Ninth Wonder, sampled by the Floaters. And then you got the official last song, which is the encore song, because they was like, we not done yet. If y'all ain't ready for us to go, they do an encore. You know, our shows, they do an encore. And this produced by Ninth Wonder again. And this is produced, and the sample is by Arthur. I don't know how to say his last name, but Arthur something. And we got now, and then the song ends by saying, you know how I feel about you being, and then he say those crackers, and then it goes, the show cuts off. They cut the show off after he actually starts speaking about what's real. But that's the Minstrel Show by Lil Brother. Amazing album. I really would have wished that Ninth Wonder and Phonte and Big Pooh would have worked their differences out and made another album with all three of them together, because the album after this, I think Ninth only produced like 1 or 2 records, because The Listening was even a good album. It wasn't as great and well put together as this, but it was still great. And this album is after Ninth had produced songs for Jay-Z and Beyonce. So I don't know if it was going, I don't know what happened between them. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. But this is an underground gem, one of the greatest rap albums of all time. I will put it in probably like my top 20 or 30, but I never do that list because I listen to too many albums. But if you never listened to this album, please do. Please do. You will not be disappointed. If you like soul sample beats and you just like dope rhymes and cool choruses and fire production. So Ninth Wonder, Big Pooh, Phonte made a classic, The Minstrel Show. Please look up, if you're unaware what a minstrel show is, please do. Very racist. But yep, it's been JD, Dean of Music. See you next time.